Hello, friends and family. This video is about gang stalking, ways of gang stalking, part two. First video I did live, I only got to get through a portion of it, and this time I'm going to continue from my list and finish up the rest. Okay, so the first thing I'll start off by, in continuation from my video one, is defamation of character. Now, in gang stalking, there are tactics and ways, like I said before, and this video is only for information purposes, okay? Um, for those who have experienced gang stalking or those who are going through it currently, and you know what to expect, what to look out for, and how to avoid certain situations. And defamation of character is definitely one of the tactics and ways of gang stalking. They to the public eye, they will make you turn out to be, like I said in my previous video, either looking crazy or you have mental health issues or you're a criminal in some way or form, whatever. They'll say that they'll use ways of saying that you're a drug addict or you're a prostitute or you're involved in criminal activities and other stuff like that, and that's a way of them using defamation of character into their advantage, so the public eye would look at you as if you are an issue or a problem, and so it's easier for them to continue with their activities of gang stalking you and stuff like that without, it makes them feel comfortable, and it makes the being in the community or in your surrounding area doing what they're doing, knowing that the community believes that you are what they say you are, which most of the times, if not 100% of the time, is not true. However, and they'll take it to the extreme. You know what I mean? And that is one of the ways that it is sad, but it's just one of the tactics that they use. Defamation of character. They try to make you look like you're crazy or you're a drug addict or you this and that and whatever. Oh, and it it's just sad how they do it, but just to make the public aware, just to make yourself aware if you're going through the situation, or, you never know what the future holds and what to look out for. Okay. So, defamation of character. I already spoke about phone hacking and emails and stuff like that. They'll hack your phone, emails, they'll go through your friends list, and they will contact your friends and family and stuff like that, and try to influence them not to talk to you, not to be around you because you're crazy, you're this kind of criminal or whatever they tell them. Or in some cases, they will also pay family members and friends to stay away. And it's crazy. It's sad because some family members and friends, they need the money too, so they take the money and they're like, well, if all I have to do is not contact this person, even though it's my family, then I won't. Sometimes the gang stalkers are your family, sometimes they're friends, close friends to you, and it's easy for them to influence other family members or other close friends of, that you are crazy or you're whatever, defamation of character. However they can achieve that goal, they'll use those methods and stuff like that, and to try to keep you isolated, and in some cases. Okay, let's go to the next list. All right, so phone hacking, emails, stolen identity and fraud. Also, the in terms of stolen identity or fraud, I spoke about that also in my previous video. Stolen identity and fraud goes to the extent to which, if they can have an access to your signature, right? for example, maybe your signature is on an important document like your driver's license or your passport or any important document, and they'll use that to their advantage in some form of monetary gain or some form of gain, right? If they could use your signature to open up businesses in your name, or they'll even use your signature and you end up in a marriage. You're married to someone you don't even know. And even if you know this person, you don't even know that you're married to this person. And the reason why they do that, it goes back to if, for example, the life insurance that I spoke about. If you have a life insurance policy that these gang stalkers are involved with, right? And they need a beneficiary. So if they can't do it themselves, they'll put you in a fake marriage. They'll pay whoever, officials or whatever, to get you into a fake marriage, and you don't even know that you're married. That's the crazy thing. So when they do that, now they have a say. If anything happened to you, and they are able to collect life insurance policy off you, because of your death or whatever, then the wife or the husband that they put you in a fake marriage with will be the beneficiary, and they will be able to collect that money. So that's one of the reasons why they try to get use your signature, or if it's not a marriage, if it's for businesses and stuff like that, they'll use your signature and open up PPP loans. They'll open up different businesses in your name, open up different accounts and stuff like that. Some of these accounts, right? They make it look like you have these accounts and you're involved in illegal activity. The reason why they do that too is, so they could get monetary gain. They don't want to use their credit and their information or whatever to open up a business, or maybe they have in the past gotten their PPP loans, or say, for example, loans or whatever for business, and they want to get more money. So they'll use someone else's identity. So they'll steal someone else's identity, however they can, and then they'll use that information to get more money from the government and stuff like that. And yeah, that's another tactical way that they use to get some form of gain or benefits in another person's name, unbeknownst to them. This person doesn't know that this is going on 90% of the time, and when you find out, it's you'll have to go through the proper channels and see and figure out how you could get this, rectified and corrected, and get these people, prosecuted in the proper manner, because this is not right. You know what I mean? You don't want to be someone else using your identity and your information for their own gain. And you're there sitting there like, what the hell is going on? You know what I mean? A lot of times that's what they do. And it's just, like I said, it's insane. It's the same. A lot of these people, they think they're very smart, but they really are the ones that have mental problems, because they're on the ability, the greed, and for money, and the ability to just do things in the proper through the proper channels and accomplish their own dreams and goals. No, they prefer to use someone else's energy and someone else's information or whatever to get this stuff. And they will pay even officials and law officials and stuff to go along with this kind of situation. And because they're saying, well, if we get this kind of money through uh life insurance policy or through their businesses and whatever, then we'll cut you off a piece. And so that's the fraud and the bribery and all that stuff start to go, into play. All right. So let's move on. Spoke about the illegal marriages and stuff like that. They'll try to mess with your home, utilities, your stability. They'll get in contact, and it goes deep. It goes really deep. So, don't underestimate how far these people will go. and their main goal is to get whatever financial gain they can, even if that means taking your life. You know what I mean? So don't be afraid to speak up about this kind of situation. And if it's law enforcement, go to internal affairs. If it's, go to the FBI, keep going up the channel. Every time they don't, you keep going up the channel, and, make them be aware. And they'll be mad at you and be like, oh, why you doing this? And you're a snitch and whatever. Well, look, how is it fair for you to be using my stuff, right? And gaining financial benefits and whatever it is, or attempt to hurt me or harm me or take my life, and then you gonna be upset about what the person is doing to defend themselves. That's why I said these people have mental issues, because they'll get mad at you because you don't want to be a part of that situation, and you want to get yourself back on track, and they'll get really angry and mad about that, for you wanting to be the best version of you, for you wanting to better your life, and you wanting not to be a part of whatever schemes they're plotting and planning and doing to you and other people. So don't even, when they get mad, don't even pay them any attention. That's an issue up here with them. Okay. So, like I said, messing with your utilities, they'll try to, pay your landlord or your property manager, or, they'll even sneak onto your property if it's a privately owned property, and they'll try to mess with your water supply, your lighting, or your cable, whatever utilities they can. And that's another thing that they'll do, tactics as part of gang stalking. You know what I mean? So that's affecting your stability. All right. They'll bring up the past, bringing up the past. So for some people who, not everyone had like what you say, a really squeaky clean past or whatever. Say for example, say in the past you were an alcoholic, you drink a lot. You still don't bother nobody. You still do your work. You go to work every day. You don't go to work drunk or whatever, hopefully. And or you used to smoke weed or something like that, and they'll bring that up to use that against you, even if you have changed, even if you don't drink anymore or smoke anymore. You know what I mean? And in my case, that's probably one of the things that they're trying to do. But for me, it's easy to prove otherwise, because if you're saying that I'm on drugs, okay, all I have to do is take a drug test. Are you willing to are you willing to bet on that? Okay, huh? You're willing to bet that I'm on drugs? So, you know what I mean? It's crazy. So, just be careful. You got to be aware of these tactics. They'll tell you, other family members and friends and the public, that, oh yeah, this person, they used to do this and they used to do that. All this time you have changed. You're trying to work on yourself if you have changed. For some people, they may not have changed. But in some cases, people, that's their past. They fail to catch up with what's going on. And sometimes, not that they fail to catch up, they know that you don't do that stuff no more. But because you used to, and people know you used to, it's easy for them to say, hey, oh yeah, yeah, that person is a drug addict. That's all they do. They take this and they do that, and they still doing this and that. All this time you're not doing nothing like that. You know what I mean? So, but like I said, in my case, it's easy for me to prove. I could take a whatever alcohol test, no alcohol. I don't drink anymore. And I don't do any form of drugs. I easy drug test can clear that up. And that's another tactic, okay? Another thing that they'll do also is that if they can't prove that to you, right, or to others, right? If they can't prove that to others or the justice system or whatever, that you're doing this and you're living there and that's all you do is selling drugs or you smoke or you're taking drugs or you're doing alcohol. If they can't prove that, they'll try to implant things. Believe it or not, if they can get into your home or your close surroundings where they could put things there to say that, and then they'll have a neighbor call and say, hey, I have reason to believe that this person is doing drugs or this person is whatever, selling drugs or whatever, and then have law enforcement come to your home and want to do a search or whatever like that. In some states that won't work because it depends. If you're doing marijuana and stuff like that, it's legal anyways. So they won't even pay attention to that. Or they won't pay attention if you at home and you drink and so what? You're not bothering anybody. You home and you drink. Or 90% of people do that. That people of people who drink does that. So, and so they'll try to find ways of implanting drugs or some form of stuff. Like I said, in some cases, it won't fly. It won't fly because even if they do that, they do a drug test with you. You have no drugs in your system if you don't smoke or take drugs and you don't drink and whatever, if you don't. If you do, then it might be a little bit difficult to prove, but still, you gotta have security cameras. You gotta, protect yourself however you can or you speak to someone and say, hey, you feel like someone who knows that can vouch for you or a group of people that you feel like people are planning this or they're trying to do this. I have observed that they might be trying to set me up. The reason why they plant these things and whatever, they trying to get you caught up in the justice system. So it's another form of control, right? And when they do that, now it's easier for them to use your identity while they're outside free and do all other stuff to in your name and use your persona to accomplish whatever monetary gain. They might even have someone in prison, so when you get locked up, so they could off you in prison and say, oh yeah, this person committed suicide or something, and that's another topic. Suicide. They will they will go through, if they can, they will try to go through past history again. And maybe you were depressed. You might not be suicidal because people get depressed all the time. They're not suicidal, but they trying to, gather information on you in the past to use that against you to say, well, this person has a case of depression in the past and maybe they're depressed now and if something happened to you they'll use suicide as a uh, a way of make it look like a suicide, which actually is not. If you're being gangster, especially if you're not suicidal. You know what I mean? So they try to push the person to that limit. That's why they mess with your utilities. If you have a car, they'll mess with your car. They'll mess with your home. They'll mess with your family. They'll mess with different things, and they'll have sometimes law enforcement involved. Which, like I said before, I think it's only a few law enforcement that are the bad apples. You know what I mean? And in every organization, you always have a few bad apples. So you have to be aware and, but most of the most of law enforcement officers, I think, are good people. They are upright, upstanding people. It's just a few bad apples that you have to avoid and be aware of, right? So they'll use suicide as a tactic, to say that you're suicidal and whatever. So let me ask the question: what proof do you have that this person is suicide? This is what law enforcement should ask. What proof do you have? Oh, they might have said it. Well, I can say anything. If I can go to someone on the street right now, right, and said you punched me in the face. Person didn't. Person don't even know me. I just turn up to the person and say I punched you in the face. What evidence is that person have? What evidence is there to say that? Well, this person actually did what they said they did. People can say anything. People will say anything if they have ulterior motives, you know? And so if I even say I end up in court, right? And someone said, "Oh yeah, this person raped me and this and that." Okay, I can ask the judge, "Hey judge, you raped me." Or the lawyer, "Hey, you raped my I heard you raped my sister." Or you raped my sister. The lawyer gonna and the judge gonna be looking like, "What the hell is you talking about?" Same thing. Anybody can say anything. Where's the proof? Where's the evidence? And they'll even try to plant evidence. Which, look, if you know that you're not doing stuff and you're not into that kind of stuff or whatever, don't even worry about it. Just make notes about it and report it to the proper authorities. So when they do even try to use that tactic, the authorities already know. They know beforehand what these guys are planning. You get me? Be a step of the game. Try to be ahead of them because all that they are doing in gang stalking is trying to be a step ahead of you in their plans and their tactics. You also should be a step of them. However you can. Make notes, make reports about it. Have people that are in the proper channel already aware and know about what they're doing. So even if they go to the bad X don't know that you already made a detailed report of tactics and ways and things that they're doing are things that you have observed, you know, in your life. It's gang stalking. All right. Let them put their foot in their mouth. And they think that, it's so smart. Yeah, they'll threaten your family and kids. They will threaten your family and kids and stuff like that. In that situation, like I said, go through the proper channels and do what you need to do to make sure that your family and your children are safe. You know what I mean? Make it known that your family and your children may be in danger, and if you're not sure, because not all parents live with their children and not all family members live together. So if you're not sure about it, make it known that, look, I have a serious concern about my children. And, because of what has been going on and what I have been observed in through, via gang stalking. I spoke about working in groups. Obviously, they work in groups because they can't work alone. It take a whole group of people, sometimes a whole community of people to try to take one person down. It's crazy. And when they fail, they all fail. It's like a domino effect. You just drop one domino, all the dominoes go down. If you ever see that setup, you know and they don't know this. They think that, oh, they're safe because they're in large groups, they're covered, and some people have law enforcement on their side, and they could go and make false reports that you did this to them and you're the that's another thing that I wanted to talk about too. They will try to play the victim, a lot of them, especially the main ones. They'll play the victim. They'll say that you are actually the person that is doing this to them. So they'll be the first one to go and make reports on you, right? And then they say, "Oh, you are a snitch," but they're the ones that first go. And in some cases, they'll go and they'll make a report on you and say that you are gang stalking them, or you are doing this to them, or you are trying to hurt them or harm them. And in actuality, you have nothing to, you're minding your own business. You don't even, some of these people you don't even know. Some people, even if you do know them, you don't even talk to them anyways. Some of these people, it's crazy, but they go and they'll make these false reports, right? And they'll say that you're doing this and you're doing that, and they'll open up a whole investigation on you. So now here's how this backfires, right? in a lot of ways, right? Sometimes you, as the person going through the gang stalking, don't even have to do anything, right? When these people open up investigations and stuff like that, right? It it now it allows the proper authority to start to look into the situation if you haven't reported it before. And then now the proper authority start to like wonder, so if this person is you, as you say, doing this, why are you the person that seem to be coming out as the culprit, right? Why is it that you're doing certain things that looks like you're the person that's gang stalking or you're the person at fault? If this person seemed to be an upright person, this person's not bothering anybody. They go about their day-to-day lives. Some people don't even want to deal with people, period. Some people just be comfortable in their own space and environment or wherever they are. Even if they go out, they're comfortable just chilling, and relaxing. So, it is it is so they end up sometimes putting their foot in their own mouths, if it's more than one, and they open up an investigation. Some people will even hire a private investigator. That's crazy. They're the ones that doing these things to you, but they'll hire a private investigator to investigate you, to look more into your life, to try and dig up dirt so they can get you caught up with the law. So they hire the private investigator. The private investigator, 9 out of 10 times, won't investigate them because they're hired by them. They're just going to be looking at you. And this is what these people do, and it's crazy. And then they try to dig up as much, they'll watch you, whatever the tactics the private investigator use. Maybe they go through emails and stuff like that, and they'll find things so they could pinpoint faults or things that you may have done in the past, or maybe things that you're doing now, or whatever they can find, and then get you caught up in the law, the justice system, or they report back to the person who hired them. And a lot of these private investigators should, I'm not saying that they're not smart people or they're not doing their job well, but you become accessory to a crime, and you don't even realize, because a lot of times if this person is being gang stalked and this person made the proper reports and make it aware to the proper authorities, you as a private investigator, sir, ma'am, is also being investigated for investigating this person, so you're also being watched. Okay, next. um I spoke about suicide. I spoke about, they'll try to affect your love life if they can. If you're not already married, not all people that are being gang stalked are single people. Some people are already married. Some people already have their families and stuff like that. But they'll try to affect your love life. They'll try to pit um, the wife against the husband, or the husband against the wife, or the girlfriend against the boyfriend, and they'll pay even friends and family off the spouse to go and speak things in their ear about the other person. So your spouse now, why shouldn't your spouse trust what her mother says about you? You know what I mean? For example, so they'll pay the mother, and the mother will go to her daughter or or son and say, "Hey, this, that," and then the son or the daughter, which is your spouse, will now be conflicted, trying to believe what this person, this close family, is saying. So they use many different tactics and ways. I'm trying to cut this video short. I'm not trying to be very long today. I'm almost done anyway. So, intimidation threats, they'll try to intimidate you however way possible. They try to make it look like you should live your whole life in fear. You can't do this, you can't go out, you can't do this, you can't hang out with people. Listen, don't live your life in fear. You know, don't live your life in fear. A lot of these people don't even listen to what they're saying. If you're through social media or your friends and your family or whatever, like I said, go through the proper channels to protect yourself and have it been known that this is going on. So even if someone tries something, eventually they'll be caught. They'll be caught for even thinking about it. You know what I mean? So I put setups in there, drugs, friends. They'll use friends to try to set you up. They'll use close people to you that probably come to your home, your family members, whatever, and to plant things, drugs or something, or maybe even a weapon. Who knows? And then they try to pin that on you. You know what I mean? And you all this time you have no idea that this is what's going on behind your back. I try to get you caught up in the justice system. All right, spreading rumors and lies. That's one of the number one tricks of gang stalking is spreading rumors and lies to get more and more people on their side, to influence more and more people to be comfortable with doing what they're doing, the gang stalking, and to watch you. And they'll have your neighbor watching you like a hawk, thinking that you're some murderer or something, some rumor, some lie that they told them. And this neighbor there, like with binoculars through the window, watching you like, or they have people stay in their cars and watch you drive by every minute or walk around, and your neighbors and your friends and your family watching you like, and all this time it was all lies, all rumors, all lies. You were being duped. Opening business in your name, they try to stunt your growth. They don't want you to progress, because if you progress you start finding out things, and ooh, things that they do. In some cases, they don't want you finding out because that might put them in prison or the electric chair. They don't want you. Things that they do behind your back, you know? They don't want you finding out that. No. Uh-uh. Social media seduction. They'll use social media to love bomb you. And, if you're a person caught up in social media, I must admit, I watch a lot of social media stuff, right? And I don't even watch TV that much, but I watch a lot of social media stuff. But there's a method to why I do certain things that a lot of people do not understand, and they make it they not make it, but they seem to think otherwise. Now, for in my case, sometimes or most of the time. I watch a lot of social media because I like to learn, and I learn a lot of things. And if I'm set on learning something or about something, I'll watch social media a lot, and I keep observing, and I make notes, right? I make notes about what I've been learning and so I can use that in a positive manner in the future. All this knowledge and whatever. Say, for example, and someone's gonna steal this idea anyway. But say, for example, I want to have my own social media platform, right? You have to know what social media is about. You have to know what type of content, how it affects people. Sometimes you have to allow yourself to go down that rabbit hole. If you're strong enough to climb back out, though, don't allow it to go down and you just stuck. Allow yourself to observe. If you're a person that loves to learn, and you learn that thing, and then you make notes, you make and and then you put something together that, in my case, put something together that will benefit others, because that's my forte. That's what I like to do. I'm not a selfish person, and I don't think about myself. I feel like if I'm stepping up the ladder, what in prosperity, growth, health, whatever it is, I want others also to be a part of that. That's a part of my goal, that my mission. That's something that I've always been, in persona and personality since birth. So it's not anything new for me. Some people think that this is just something new. No, I have always been like this. So social media, love bombing, be careful when it comes to gang stalking. There's something called love bombing. they'll use a lot of stuff and they'll say, "Oh yes, this person loves you so much, and this person want to be with you," and it's gang stalking. These people are paid to, and sometimes not even paid, but for somehow they get benefits from doing what they do. So they'll say, "Oh, this person is so in love with you, and this person want to meet you, and this person want to that, and this person want to this." All the time behind the scenes, this person that they're talking about has ulterior motives. When they say, a lot of times when they say love, it doesn't mean actual love. It means that they just want to get with you so they can benefit from what they want to benefit for. You know what I mean? So a lot of times they'll use the term love, and this person love you a lot. Don't get caught up in the hype. You know what I mean? And I must admit, at one point I was like, when I was new to it, I was like, oh yeah, this person love me. Who is this person? I need to find out. Who's this person? Does she look nice? She is, beautiful. Whatever. Don't get caught up in that stuff. That's love bombing. It's a part. These people are playing a part of a role of gang stalking. They're a part of it. They don't look at it like that, but they are indirectly a part of the gang stalking that's going on. You know what I mean? And some of them know. They just don't care, which is fine. Do what you do. All right? I'm just letting people be aware of ways and means to avoid certain situations and gang stalking and stuff like that. That's all. This is just for information purposes. It's not to influence anyone in what to do and what not to do. It's just for awareness purposes, okay? All right. So I said opening business in your name, social media seduction. Um, they study your ways and activities if they can have cameras or people watch you all the time to study your habits or your ways and what you do when you're not home, what you do when you're out, if you drink, if you smoke, if what you do with your family, what's your favorite food, where do you order from. They'll do all these things, and you might wonder why would they want to know where I order from? You never know what might happen along the way during delivery. You know what I mean? Because people will take money and bribes. And if they're trying to put something in your food or drink during delivery, they want to know who is the delivery driver, who you order, which restaurant or which place you order from. So they could stop the delivery driver. Delivery driver not getting a lot of money paid. So they'll take a bribe. They'll take it. And then when they take it, who knows what happens to your food on the way to getting to you. So these are methods and ways that you have to look out for. A lot of people don't pay attention to things like this, but you have to pay attention to things like this. Very careful, you know. So they study your ways and activities. It's a form of control too. All this is to be controlled. They want to control the person they're gang stalking, especially if they want beneficial, like some form of benefits gain. Obviously, some benefit, something selfish and greedy, and they want. So that's why they do things like these. You know what I mean? They don't do it for no reason. They wouldn't bother somebody that's above or have nothing, or they feel have nothing. They'll bother people that they feel, even if the person doesn't, but they feel that this person is, probably wealthy or onto something. They'll try to steal your business ideas. They'll try to open up businesses in your name, stuff like that. You know what I mean? So be careful. You know, playing the victim, the blame game. Yes, I already said that. And that's the last one on my list. They play the victim, the blame game. Oh, it's you doing this to me. When all the time they're the ones in groups doing it to you. It's easy to catch them when they play the blame game because they can't do it by themselves. They have to do it with a group of people. So for an investigator, watch their surroundings, watch who they hang with, what they say, what they do, and all these things, and see. You know, it's easy to detect a lot of things. Some things is not as hard as these gang stalkers think. Oh yeah, I'm secure. Nobody gonna find out what I'm doing. It's so obvious sometimes because they're so blindly focused on one thing and forget the other 99 things that's looking at them. you know. And so, like I said, this video is just for awareness purposes, information, how, and people shouldn't get mad. I'm not saying that they do, but people shouldn't really get mad at me for putting out videos like these for awareness purposes, for helping others. There are 100 other people that does videos like these, and you're not mad at them. So, okay, I'm not the only person that does this. There are people that speak about narcissism every day. There are people that speak about gang stalking every day. There are people that speak about sociopaths and psychopaths and all this stuff on mental health issues and all this stuff every day. You know, this video, like I said, is just one of the many that bring forth awareness and information for people who may have been going through gang stalking, who's going through it now, or may have in the future or may will in the future go through it. Okay. And what to look out for and ways and tactics. And this also can help the proper law enforcement and justice system to know, become aware of things that are going on when it comes to gang stalking. When someone report gang stalking, is very serious. It's actually a life and death issue in some cases, not all cases, but in some cases it is, because they will push this person or try to push this person towards suicide. Isolate them from their friends and family, maybe children or they, parents or whatever, and try to force them into committing suicide so they can collect their money, and in some cases they will hire or pay people to go and take this person out themselves. You know what I mean? So it's very serious when someone reports gang stalking and stuff like that. It should be looked at to on a serious level. In some cases, you start to question the law enforcement. What? How do they? But anyway, like I said, it's only a few of them that, yeah, and they're in every group, no matter what group. Even in the church, there's always some people that doesn't do the rules and guidelines of the church. They're in any organization in school. There are some people that they shouldn't be doing certain things in school, and they do it anyway. In any organization, the medical field, the justice system, whatever. So it's normal. However, we majority are innately good people and trying to do the right thing, and so this is not a knock or anything on any form of organization whatsoever. This is just for awareness, and thank you again. This is Yeah, and that's all I have. This is the second portion of Ways of Gang Stalking. I hope you enjoy, and thank you for listening. Please hit the like, share, subscribe button, and if not, thanks for watching. Okay, all right, bye.